Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Allison Cruz, and I'm incredibly excited and extremely proud to welcome you to The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening for the Nintendo Switch, a brand new remake of the 1993 classic and overall, just a fantastic adventure. Link's Awakening was the very first Zelda game I had ever played, and as such, it holds a place near and dear to my heart. On top of the modest additions to the game, the visuals and music clearly got an amazingly stylistic overhaul, and despite what you might have heard about some aspects of the quality, I think it still holds up and looks really nice, even if optimization should have been improved from the start. You'll see what I mean as the cutscenes begin looping in on themselves. I say it's time to go ahead and get started with our adventure throughout the island of Koholint here in slot number 3, where we now have the distinction of playing either on normal difficulty or the new hero mode, which Link takes twice as much damage and there are no hearts to be found anywhere in the world, which is going to be a little rough, and against my better judgment, it's what we're going with. Now, her name is preemptively Link, and just keeping in the tradition with previous walkthroughs of Zelda games, we gotta go with the old Ellison. That's just how I started doing it, and it would be weird if I stopped being Ellison in one of these games. But with that being said and done, and the cat's starting to tussle in the background, as is the usual, let's get started. What a relief! I thought you'd never wake up. You were tossing and turning, and Dad and I were just considering whether or not to throw you back in the ocean and just be done with it, but, you know, we're glad you woke up. What? Zelda? No, my name's Marin. You must still be feeling a little woozy. Well, yeah, considering we literally just woke up out of a dead-ass sleep after being, you know, unconscious out at sea for God knows how many days. I would dare say that yes, we're a little woozy, but it turns out we washed ashore on a Koholint island. And this is where our adventure begins. In many different dimensions, we are not emboldened to the tile system of the original game. And this actually kind of works to the detriment of Link in this iteration, because we have different, you know, variations to walk in, but it's still very nice and a welcome addition. Also, I love how every time you move in a different direction, he just has like a single frame of animation to turn that way. It's so good. I love it. Kind of just gives it that stop motion-esque feel. Now, you'll notice these stands on the floor. These are going to be something we'll be seeing throughout the village, and we're going to deal with that later. More importantly, we also have the issues of taking pots and throwing them, but unfortunately, they're heavier than heavy. Our current strength will not cut it. No, it won't. Anyways, how's it going? Follow the lane south to reach the beach where I found you. Wait, you really weren't kidding. You were going to throw me back in the ocean, weren't you? Since you washed ashore, lots of nasty monsters have been in the area, so be careful, okay? But why in the world would I want to go back down there? Is it only to serve the plot? Why the beach? Anyways, here we have Marin's father, who goes by Terran.
Well, you finally snapped out of it. Name's Terran. Hope you're feeling better. What? How'd I know your name? Think it's weird, huh?
Yeah, how did you know my name?
Well, I saw it on the back of the shield.
Yes, because that clearly indicates that it does not only belong to me, but that is my name. No, this is the Ellison branded Hylian shield, but this is a very important thing to have because it allows us to deflect projectiles and also protect ourselves from damage, which is nice. Now, if we take a look at this great looking chest.
Hey, what are you doing in my chest? Where'd you learn to do
Such a thing. Oh man, I love like Marin's outrage at the fact that we would even bother going snooping. She's like, oh my heavens, my pearls. Anyways, with that having been said and done, let's head out into the world and explore Mabe Village. And I gotta say, you guys, this place is absolutely stunning. The music is warm and welcoming. There's butterflies flying around. But if you can get past the fact that every time you enter a new part of the overworld or village where a lot of things need to load in, you get that really noticeable frame rate drop in the beginning. It's great, and I think it has something to do with the blurring vignette around the corners that kind of make your general vicinity seem a lot more sharpened and focused than it normally would. I think that would definitely help the optimization quite a bit, but Unfortunately, we're not running on any advanced hardware that would make this game run better, so that's no big deal. How's it going, small child? Hey man, my name's Suni. When you want to save, do the thing because you get there by doing the other thing. But don't ask me what that means, I'm just a kid. I love that saying, I'm just a kid. How should I know? Over here we've got ourselves the trendy game, and because we lack the ability to properly lift up weeds and bushes, we can't play it. So I think that's just poor management on their part for making this area inaccessible to anyone without a sword, but that's okay. We'll deal with that a little bit later. And before we actually head south to the beach, I would like to talk with some of the townsfolk for a bit before we head down there, just to kind of acquaint ourselves with them. For now, we have Grandma. Yahoo! I'm fine. And you? Does that mean we have Grandpa Google in here? Is that what we're dealing with? Or would it be Bing? Bing Grandpa? No, it's Old Man Olryra. I don't think I've ever been in here.
I'd say, please call outside.
It seems that Old Man Olryra is a shy guy in person. So basically the only way that we can really communicate with this man is over the phone. And as you guys saw, right south of Terran's place, we've got ourselves a house that has a giant phone on it. So clearly that would be the most logical step to talk to him. And he'll essentially guide you on your way to wherever you might need to go over the course of your story. And unfortunately, there's no great chest behind the telephone. But he is calling us. Huh.
Bring, hello, it's me, Olryra. Ask me anything about the island. If you get lost, give me a call. You know, there's a library in the village that might give you some pointers, so I would go check with that before talking to me. All right, talk to you later. Click.
I really like to imagine that Olryra is actually verbally saying bring and click, because it's just so anticlimactic to end a phone call without those noises being made. But there's that frame rate drop, and I get it. I understand why people are upset about that. It's weird, it's jarring, but I'm not gonna let that get in the way of our enjoyment of the game if it's not really going to affect, you know, the general gameplay and combat. If we try to head east, turns out we're blocked and we will be unable to explore the prairies of Okuku as well as the animal village until we get something to get past this mess. I don't know what's going on there, but we also have the town tool shop here. And this is going to be a very important destination for us in the future because it has things we need, such as the deluxe shovel. But unfortunately, it's very expensive, and no matter how much I try to move, the little symbol does not rotate with Link, so very disappointing. If we try to leave with it,
hey, you gotta put it back.
Sorry, I'll throw it back there. Keep in mind you can steal in this game, although I would rather you wait until much later to the point where it's actually useful, and we're not gonna worry about that too much for now. There's this little area up here that we'll be able to access as well a little bit later, not until after I think the third dungeon, because there's some good stuff in there if we decide to take a rest. Now we've got ourselves Laddie. Well, it seems after you do the thing, you'll start at the last place you did the thing, unless it's a dungeon when you start at it. I don't know why, I'm just a kid. He's just a boy. Or is Laddie a girl? Anyways, it turns out all the children appear to live in this area, this space. Wow, this is kind of incredible. Look at their little beds. That's amazing. Could you imagine being the dad and having to wake up and only, you know, to have to go pee or something, but it's 3 in the morning and he risks waking all of them up just so that he can get up and, I don't know. How's it going, Mamasha? All right, let me guess, you're a mom. With 4 boys who look alike, even I get confused sometimes. By the way, my baby wants a Yoshi doll. I saw one at the trendy game, but I couldn't get it. Your baby is literally an infant, not even 3 days out of the womb, and how does it know that he wants a Yoshi doll? Are you sure it's just not you? It's fine, I can get you a Yoshi doll. It's easy. And then we've got ourselves Papal.
Yep, they're my boys. I'm Papal, pleased to meet you. I'll be lost in the hills later, so keep a lookout for me here.
I love how he preemptively warns us that he anticipates on getting lost in the hills later, which he does. I didn't realize that. Also, could you imagine the overwhelming pressure from both of these parents' parents? It put that pressure on them being parents. Like, the grandma here named their kid Mamasha, so they're like, you better be a mom. Whereas here, dad's like, yeah, I'm gonna name you Papal, you better be a dad, and make me proud, son. I don't know, I just thought that was funny how obvious it is that those are supposed to be parental names. I don't know. Those definitely were not, self-given. Also around the place, we've got these guys. Yep. Aw, cute. And this house that has a pet chain shop in front. Something you'll notice is that there are going to be a recurrence of Mario characters and enemies in this game as well. Although Bow Wow here is not an enemy. He will not hurt us, and he's just the goodest little doggo. I wish I could pet him, but alas, I cannot. I'm gonna have to wait until Luigi's Mansion 3 to do that. So, yeah, we're not gonna explore too much else of the world before heading south, but first, children. Junia says, I heard you can do the thing to look at the island map. Not only that, you can stick pins in it and remember stuff. But I don't understand what they mean by that. I'm just a kid. What this one? Oh, it's Kiddo. Wow, all right, is it gonna be a child forever then? So he's telling us, when we run out of hearts, we better go find a big fairy. Otherwise, we'll probably die. Yes, I know you're just a kid, but you do have an idea of what that means, right? And you know what? Before we head south, let's head into the library for a quick read, because there's quite a lot of books here laid out for us in case we get lost or we need, a little nudge in the right direction, including this thing right here. This is a bookshelf. What? You can see that? Okay. I love that sassy little self-narration there. And we also have this black book. Dark Secrets and Mysteries of Koholint. Do you really want to read it? Well, hell yeah, I do. It's the one that sticks out like a sore thumb. What's this? You can't read the tiny print without the aid of a magnifying lens. But where would you go about getting one of those? Maybe if you lend some people a hand, they'll lend you a lens. Yeah, unfortunately, we're gonna have to come back for that. The real reason why I wanted to head in here was so that we could peruse the atlas. So let's do it. Let's take a look at the legitimate map of the world. What you'll notice is relatively small, and something that I love about this game is that it's not this sprawling overworld that takes forever to get to where you need to be. It's pretty straightforward, and basically every screen is relatively dense with things. There's gonna be something for you everywhere you go, and when you get more items, you can come back to them and unlock additional collectibles and goodies, which there are a ton of in this game, almost twice as much as the original. So for example, pieces of heart. There were, I believe, 12 in the original Link's Awakening. This game, 32. Seashells, 26 in the original. This game, 50. There's a plethora of new things, but first we gotta start by collecting our sword, which happens to be on Torombo Shores. Eventually we will be going to Tail Cave, but now that we have our shield, we can protect ourselves against the atrocious Octoroks that are attempting to murder us, so that's good. Unfortunately, we can't inflict any pain of our own onto them, so we'll have to wait until later. For now, let's take a look at this. Ooh, okay, that was dumb. Tutorial signs. Beware of sea urchins. Don't touch them with your bare hands. So another thing that I kind of see a lot of people who are picking this game up for the first time kind of complain about is how hard it is to figure out what to do next, and I'll agree, it is a little bit weird, even myself replaying it. Ooh, water slows you down. But essentially what we do with the sea urchins is you can push them away with your shield. Oh, I better not get caught in between. There we go. And move them that way. It did say bare hands, but nothing else. And these are not Gordos. They are indeed just sea urchins. So, yeah, don't touch them. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, our sword and an owl. So, you are the lad who owns the sword. Now I understand why the monsters are starting to act so violently. A courageous lad has come to wake the windfish. It is said you cannot leave the island unless you wake the windfish. You should now go north to the mysterious forest. I will wait for you there. Woo. That was pretty dark and unnecessary, but you know what? I appreciate it because now it means we have the ability to kill things. You found your sword. It must be yours because it has your name engraved in it. Are you sure it's not because it's just the Ellison branded sword of killing things? So we can swing it to attack any enemies in our path. And whoa, okay. And with the great music now playing and killing things in cutscenes, we can now inflict death upon everything we deem killable and deathable. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of killing and maiming in this, and you're definitely going to want to do that with your sword, although it is pretty fun to do things with other weapons. And, oh, this is a nice little place. We'll definitely be returning to some of these places to collect some chests that we're unfortunately able to reach right now. Once we can deal with these rocks, we'll be able to do something about it, but as of now, this looks pretty heavy. Won't be able to lift it with just your bare hands. No. And once we collect the item that allows us to lift that, we're not necessarily going to come back immediately to the place to where some of these new collectibles are. Instead, we'll probably just end up doing it when it's most convenient, but we'll see how I'm feeling, I guess. If we're inside the shack, though, this is important. We've got ourselves our old buddy from Super Mario RPG. How's it going, Crocomire? Welcome to Sale's House of Bananas. On sale, and this is my house of bananas. Actually, my hobby is collecting rare and unusual canned food. That's very strange indeed, considering you're a crocodile and has absolutely nothing to do with that. Unless you're an alligator, in which it makes perfect sense. My brother's an artist, so I guess strange hobbies run in the family. Wait, what are you saying? Are you saying that being an artist is strange and unusual? Because, sir, look who you're talking to. This is a pretty cool place. We have like a nice little hammocky place that we're unable to rest in and water. It's cute, although I don't necessarily agree with the fact that it should be indoors like that. It's kind of weird. But now we can destroy Octoroks and we can begin collecting rupees. Something that I may be doing off screen is a little bit of grinding for these things, although there are plenty in different dungeons. I would just be extra vigilant about collecting as many as we can because there are a lot of things we can do that cost rupees, and you're going to need a ton of them to collect plot-related things such as weapons and you know, things to help you progress. So keep that in mind as we move on. Oop, there we go. So it's nice that they actually did put the shield on the right trigger. Otherwise, it would normally just be a like an item that you would have to equip, much like, you know, bombs or a bow or something. And over here we have, oh god, the Guardian Acorn. It will reduce damage we take by half, which is extremely useful on hero mode because, well, we take double damage and there are no hearts in the overworld. But we have this music that plays over the fantastic soundtrack, and it's so distracting because it lasts for so long, and I don't know. I will be collecting them occasionally, especially if I can't help it. And there's also the power triangle thing that doubles our attack, which is good. But I wish that the text didn't pop up every single time you picked it up. It's so weird. Huh? A keyhole here. It says tail keyhole. It's nice to know they fixed the typo, at least. Because in the original, the game said it was the tail, like the Tales from the Underground or Tales from the Borderlands, like a tale of a bard or something. It's, I don't know. I think it's cute that they fixed some things but left other things in, like the text constantly showing up. But you know what? There's enough quality of life upgrades that we're not really gonna complain all that much. So back to Mabe. And what else is there really to do here? We need to head to the mysterious forest, but now that we can start, you know, giving this place a bit of a, you know, a cut, we can head into this field here and collect the first of many seashells. We're going to collect as many as we can, and these are going to be very important for later, so we'll keep an eye out for those, especially with the deluxe shovel being something that we're going to need to keep an eye on for. Keep in mind, seashells are good, and you want to at least, by the end of the game, collect 40 of them, because that will be a sword upgrade. So, yeah, I'm not even going to bother spoiling that. So we have no rupees to our name at the moment, so we're probably better off heading north, because basically everything else we can start doing here requires rupees. So we'll do that later, and although we can drop down a well and be stranded down there, let's wait a little bit. There is a piece of heart, but I'm gonna save that until we get hurt, because God knows I probably will here in the forest.